Tonight, we are going to take a long, slow journey into one of the most mysterious, unsolved cases in modern American history, the case of the Zodiac Killer. This will not be a rushed explanation. Instead, it will be a calm, detailed, and gentle storytelling experience meant to guide you through the events, slowly, softly, and with a sense of deep curiosity. So, find a comfortable position. Let your breathing slow down, and let your mind wander gently as we begin the story of a man who called himself Zodiac. Before we step into the mist of the past, I have a small favor to ask. If you find peace in these quiet explorations of history and mystery, please gently press the like button and subscribe to Curivella. Your support allows us to continue these journeys together. Now, let the world around you fade away. Chapter 1: A Quiet Beginning. It was the late 1960s in Northern California. A strange time, a complex time. The United States was going through rapid cultural change. Music, politics, protests, shifting values. And in the middle of all of that movement, something darker was beginning to form in the shadows. Police officers in small California towns, journalists at major newspapers, ordinary couples enjoying a quiet night drive. None of them knew that a new kind of criminal was slowly emerging. A man who would change the history of American crime forever. Chapter 2: The First Attack, Lake Herman Road. On the evening of December 20th, 1968, two teenagers, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, were driving through the quiet, rural stretch of Lake Herman Road near Vallejo. It was a peaceful night. The sky was clear. The air was still. They parked their car to talk, to spend time together, to enjoy a quiet moment away from everything. No one knows exactly what happened next. What we do know is that sometime around 11 p.m., another vehicle approached. Someone stepped out. Someone carrying a gun. There was no warning, no conversation, no attempt to hide, just sudden violence, and then silence. When police arrived, Betty Lou and David were gone. At the time, it was considered a tragic but isolated crime. No one imagined that this was just the beginning. Chapter 3: The Blue Rock Springs Attack. 6 months later, July 4th, 1969, fireworks lit the sky over the city of Vallejo. Couples gathered in parking lots, enjoying the warm summer evening. Around midnight, Darlene Farron and Mike Mogow sat together in Darlene's car at Blue Rock Springs Park. Once again, a car pulled up behind them. Once again, the driver turned off the lights. And once again, the nightmare began without warning. Shots were fired into the car. Darlene did not survive. Mike, though injured, managed to live, and he gave police their first vague description of the attacker. He said the man was white, probably in his 30s, not very tall, not very large, and wearing thick glasses. But no one realized the importance of this description yet, until the next phone call. Chapter 4. The Zodiac reveals himself. Just minutes after the attack, a call rang into the Vallejo Police Department. A calm, steady male voice said, "I want to report a double murder. If you will go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger." Then the voice added something chilling. "I also killed those kids last year." And then he hung up. This was the moment when a simple murder case became something else, something calculated, something theatrical. A killer who not only committed the crime, but wanted to control the story. This man wanted attention. He wanted a name. He wanted to send messages. And soon, he did. Chapter 5. The Letters and the Bus Threat. On July 31st, 1969, 3 major newspapers received letters. Inside each envelope was a handwritten message beginning with the now infamous phrase, "This is the Zodiac speaking." The killer had named himself. He included mysterious ciphers, coded messages made of strange symbols. But his letters soon became darker. In one particularly terrifying letter, he threatened to attack a school bus. He claimed he would shoot out the front tire and then target the children as they came out. This threat changed everything. Suddenly, the fear was not just for couples in parked cars. It was for every family. Police cars began following school buses, and a heavy cloud of anxiety settled over San Francisco. Chapter 6. The Cipher is Solved. The Zodiac's first cipher, later called the 408 cipher, was cracked within a week by a schoolteacher named Donald Hardin and his wife Betty. The message inside was disturbing. but also strangely empty. The Zodiac bragged about killing people. He said he enjoyed it. He referenced the idea of collecting victims as slaves in the afterlife, but he gave no clue about who he really was. The final line of the cipher was missing. It ended with the phrase, "I will not give you my name, because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of slaves for my afterlife." So the mystery remained intact. Chapter 7. Lake Berryessa, the Hooded Figure. On September 27, 1969, college students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were relaxing by the shore of Lake Berryessa. It was a warm afternoon. The water was calm. They were enjoying a peaceful picnic until they noticed a man approaching. He wore a strange, almost ceremonial black hood. On his chest, a white symbol, a circle with a cross through it, the Zodiac symbol. The man tied them up. He spoke calmly. He claimed he was an escaped prisoner. Then he attacked them with a knife. Cecilia later passed away from her wounds. Brian survived and became a key witness. What made this attack even stranger is that the Zodiac walked to Brian's car afterwards and wrote a message on the door with a pen. He listed the dates of his previous crimes, and then he signed it with the Zodiac symbol. Chapter 8. The Stein Murder and the Detective. 2 weeks later, on October 11, 1969, cab driver Paul Stein picked up a passenger in San Francisco. The destination was Presidio Heights. When the cab stopped, the passenger shot Paul Stein. This time, witnesses saw him. They described a white male, medium build, with glasses. The investigation was led by detectives like Dave Toschi. Toschi became famous for his style, wearing his gun in a shoulder holster and eating animal crackers. He was so obsessed with catching the Zodiac that he later became the inspiration for famous movie characters like Dirty Harry and Bullet. But even the best detectives could not catch a ghost. Chapter 9. The Stein Letter and Trophies. A few days after the murder, the San Francisco Chronicle received another letter from the Zodiac. Inside was a piece of Paul Stein's bloody shirt, proving that the writer was the killer. The letter contained threats, more taunting, and more promises of future violence. The Zodiac seemed to enjoy the fear he caused. He enjoyed the attention. He seemed almost relaxed in his cruelty, and each letter made him more famous. Chapter 10. The 340 Cipher, Unsolved for 51 Years. In November 1969, the Zodiac sent his most complex cipher, a grid of 340 symbols known simply as the Z340. For over 50 years, no one could solve it. Professional code breakers tried. The FBI tried. Nothing worked. Until 2020, when 3 amateur code breakers, David Orenchek, Sam Blake, and Jarl Van Eyck, finally solved it using modern computer software. The solution did not reveal his name. Instead, the Zodiac mocked the police yet again and claimed he was not afraid of being caught. Even after 50 years, he was still playing games. Chapter 11. Suspects – The Endless Theories. Over the decades, many names have been brought forward as potential Zodiac suspects. Arthur Lee Allen was the most famous suspect. He lived near the crime scenes, owned similar weapons, was identified by one surviving victim, and yet fingerprint comparisons and handwriting samples never matched. Gary Francis Post was recently suspected based on alleged matching scars. But again, no definitive proof. Each suspect seems persuasive until the evidence fails. Chapter 12. Why he was never caught. There are many reasons. The crimes occurred in different jurisdictions. Police departments didn't share information effectively. Technology was limited. But perhaps most importantly, the Zodiac may have simply stopped. A killer who stops killing becomes almost impossible to track. Chapter 13. The Legacy of Zodiac. Today, over 50 years later, the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery, a legend, a dark piece of American folklore. He has inspired movies, books, documentaries, and thousands of online theories. But his real identity remains in the shadows. Some believe he died decades ago. Some believe he might have been an ordinary man, someone who blended into society effortlessly. Chapter 14. A Calm Closing. As we reach the end of this long journey through the Zodiac case, allow yourself to let go of the tension. Let your breathing become softer. Let your thoughts drift. Nothing about this story is meant to frighten you, only to intrigue your curiosity, gently, calmly. The world is full of mysteries that remain unsolved. The Zodiac Killer is just one of them. A reminder that truth can hide in plain sight for decades. Thank you for listening, and may your night be peaceful, your rest be deep, and your curiosity always remain alive.